G'day, welcome. Early Crow Captain's Run episode. I don't know. We're headed towards the Group 1 racing in Melbourne. The C.F.Orr is on Saturday. Caulfield, the Heath. Probably the worst performing racetrack in Victoria at the metro level through spring. It's had all summer to get rerouted, aerated, watered, fertiliser, whatever they need to do to get it harming. And you're back on to do it with Kangaroo in charge. We spoke about the great man a fair bit there on Monday, Tuesday, whatever it is, when we had Farjack on. All reports are Farjack's just ticking over beautifully, looking good, feeling good, and going to be fighting good. But yeah, back to Caulfield with Kangaroo in charge. I anticipate an improved racing surface, which is fairer for all participants. As punters, it doesn't really matter to us too much. And I think as a general rule there on Saturday, that rail position would treat it as pretty fair. We'll lean to avoiding horses that settle the back half out of the chute starts. You don't know what they are? Well, do your own research. Look it up. Michael Rolls-Royce P-Rat. Slow left arm medium from the pavilion end. No T. Papley. It's just the boys. What are you doing? What are you bringing to the captain's run before I take over and find a few bets for us at Caulfield?
I made sure that if Paps was missing, that he was going to chime in with something. Whether this will be an official tip on or official bet on our Eyes on Pony slide, Paps hasn't got to all of the 10 race card yet. But in the first, mate, the benchmark 72 midway over 1600. He's keen on O Diamond Lil. Said it is a little bit short, but flew home in the...
So what you're saying is right in his wheelhouse?
Yeah, correct. You wouldn't believe it. He's found a favourite.
$3?
No, a lot shorter than that. And who do you think's riding?
Oh, Karen or J-Mac?
You've nailed it in the first go. Karen McAvoy at $2.20. Yeah, whether it'll be an official single, but might be a little bank builder if you're that way inclined, or even a multi-builder. Came home last start in the top 10 fastest last 200 and 100 on the card. Draws one, should lead, is a box ticker, and hopefully can start our days off well at Randwick, mate. But let's focus on you and what's going on with Saturday. You wanted to start in the Race Tech JRA plate, the Group 3. If you look at the top of the market, we've got Chorlton Lane number 4 at 440, Marble Arch at 440, Munamek 750, Elphinstone along with the rest, and there's one down the page a little bit that's a little bit disrespected in the market, and it happens to be in the Mailbag Bloodstock Silks.
Yeah, $11 Windstorm when we did the show on Monday night, was it?
Yep.
And I thought, we started. They put up $23 to bet us in a benchmark 84 last Saturday, Sandown. I didn't expect to sort of have to worry about, making big decisions about my horse. Betting wise, decisions have to be made whether we run or not. But as the speed map sort of unravelled, and as the barrier came out, and as I started to sort of play around with a few numbers and all the stuff that goes into the mix that I produce a price from, I don't think I've ever been hornier for a bet on a horse I own, at least on a Saturday, and it's just about the prices. I've had horses I think are better chances on a Saturday. I can't believe now the price. I think he should be a $5 chance in this race. He is what I would call Pratty a box ticker. That's Windstorm Race 8 in the Group 3 at Caulfield for $200,000. He's 4 wide, no cover, not suited for give run, but good. Last start. He's on the quick backup. Tick. Jockey switch. Tick. Outside to inside barrier. Tick. SPs tie him into a number of horses here. It's a soft Group 3. Buffalo River makes it an honest run race. There's moderate speed. There's a lot of them that want to sort of go back with where we would probably be. I think we can settle just worse of midfield or midfield on this map. I don't think it matters though, because we've got a very in form and a very hungry Jamie Mott in the saddle. great rider, better bloke from all reports. And I'm looking forward to shaking his hand pre and hopefully post-race on Saturday at Caulfield. That is Windstorm in race 8, number 7 from barrier 3. It's going to be amazing. It's at $15. The official SP is $15 in a benchmark 84 last week. It's going to head to a Group 3 on Saturday, and I think it'll start single figures. I've taken 15s. I suggest you do too. You gamble responsibly and you do you. But I think this is an outstanding bet, and it's an each-way bet all day. If you're like me and you're not an each-way punter, I'm going to have a little chop suey saver on Shorten Lane, who finally... I'll just check who I'm going to offend when I say this. No, sweet. Finally gets a rider. It's carried Ashley Morgan. It's carried S. Osborne. It's carried S. Foley. And it's got a good Australian rider on it for the first time in a long time. It's deep into a preparation in a stable that handles that sort of situation really well. It goes from barrier 1. I thought it was really good behind Coastwatch in the listed race there at Sandown on the Lakeside last start. It was very good versus Just Folk in the Pakenham Supernova prior to that. That hit a shock one. I think it's the right form. I think this horse is real fit, and I think it's going to get a lovely, gorgeous run from Blake Shin from barrier 1. Now the Chiric here is... I think we just back Windstorm. Don't think just do.
Yeah.
You could hover around this horse because it's drawn 1, and as he said at the top of the show, Caulfield's a pretty bad track at the moment. Now, if it's Rails and Run Cactus, which I don't think will happen, but it could happen, because it's Caulfield.
And we've also got the heat is around as well, which never helps. They're obviously going to have to irrigate it a fair bit and
irrigate it. Apply water, hoses, taps, sprinklers. What can happen is the water drains to one lane or 2 lanes, and that's a little bit softer than others. Things like that happen. I'm not hanging them out to dry. I'm calling it as it was there through spring. It underperformed. You'd anticipate improvement, and Anyway, all that being said, very, very keen and excited to go to the races on Saturday and hopefully win a Group 3 with Windstorm. Paid $50,000 for him, so it'll be a miracle.
We'd much prefer God's irrigation rather than human irrigation on these tracks for sure. I think if you have a look in punting form, you look at the last 600 and we're going, okay, whatever, but Windstorm's run the second fastest last 1200 of the meeting last week. So to sustain that kind of gallop off that speed that they went is...
4 wide too.
4 wide, and if you have a look at even the lanes in punting form...
I wonder if they clocked it, Pratty, from did they clock Windstorm's last 1200 from the 11:20?
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? Because he's covered 1200 from about there.
Lane 8, 5, 4, 4, 8, 12.
No staggered starts in horse racing, right? It's not Kathy Freeman, Bruce McAvaney, 2000 Olympics, 400 metres.
Actually, while we're touching on that, do we need to touch on the tactics with Darce? Actually, I don't think we've covered this on the Early Crow, have we? About the tactics that he employed for one of his 300 metre races that he probably should have won?
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad coaching, actually. Bad training.
Can you explain?
Trainer error.
Yep, go on.
Well, he needs blinkers, but you can't apply blinkers to a 5-year-old little athlete.
Oh, you're already making excuses. So, what were the tactics given?
He gets lost when he hits the front. He's looking for competition like a horse, so you put blinkers on. Or you got to cuddle him to the last minute and then let him out and hit the line. He gets to the front and he looks around for his mates. Where are they? So I said, it's real windy today. You're into a headwind in the 300. Let's get some cover down the back straight. And then suck up, hold the fence around the bend, peel out with that wind behind you and hit the line, my son. 25 kids, 30 kids, he runs sort of top 3 most starts. He snicked himself like Stewart's inquiry sort of stuff to the tail. I meant get some cover, find the coffin, lead 1 out, 1 back.
Yeah, even 2 back the fence, not too bad.
He went all the way back to last from a middle draw. It was awful. He still peeled off some good closing splits. I think he might have run 5th or 6th, but from where he was on the corner, a definite black booker. He's in again Friday night or Saturday morning, I think. So potentially might try and get something out of that.
Love it, mate. Love it. And hopefully for J Mott, he's able to find a spot not too far back and Windstorm can be going over the top. It'd be rude not to move on to the next race and touch on the Group 1, mate, which is the C.F.Orr, the first one that kicks off the Carnival of Racing, or the Autumn Summer Carnival of whatever it's called these days. Just bringing up a market as I waffle. We've got Brightside, top of the market, $2.50. Another Will, $3.90. Schwartz, $6. Private Life, $9. Southport Tycoon, 14s, and then longer the rest, mate. Are you siding with the favourite, or are we looking to bet around Mr. Brightside?
I think we've got to try and get around him first up. So the speed, Schwartz, maybe Freedom Rally. Another Will just lands somewhere near it. Private Life's got speed, but it's first up off a pretty significant preparation for the horse as a 3-year-old. He won the Caulfield Guineas. He went to the Champions Sprint at Flemington. Semina's going to be a pest from a wide draw. Mr. Brightside drawn 8, I think settles midfield. Could almost get the 1-1. Southport Tycoon from 2, Zara Sticks. You'd think it's going to settle a little bit closer than it did at Moonee Valley. It'll be right near Party, and I think Pinstripe goes back with Super Schmick. The two horses that have trialled significantly the best of the fresh horses here are Mr. Brightside, which you'd anticipate and you'd hope for and you'd expect. He's a champion. One of the great horses we have running around, and we get to the joy and we're lucky to watch. And then there's the sort of fresh blood, the fresh horse potentially on the scene at that level, and that horse is Another Will. 2 trials, proper trials. I think a little bit of residual fitness in those trials. I think the draw's outstanding. He's got a $2.70 SP versus an $11 SP Southport Tycoon last time they met. Right, Southport Tycoon's got the big SP over Schwartz. I'm against it, heavy Schwartz again. Pull my pants down, smack me on the bum at Moonee Valley. Can he do it again? I'm against him. This is a very different, they're trying to tell me, and they're trying to tell you, hey Pratty, do you want to take the same price about Schwartz that you could have taken in like a low sprint race at Moonee Valley?
Yeah.
And we're saying no, we don't. I need to see double figures before I even contemplate looking at the horse properly. I think Staparty's going good. It hits the line well. Pinstripe's returned, like the trials are nice. It'll hit the line hard, but it'll go back to last. Southport will improve, but I think there's 2 of him, right? He was poor first up with a really nice SP. He springboarded second up, blinkers on, in the Manicato last prep, and that's when he sort of announced himself as a proper horse. He won an Australian Guineas, but that's not the sort of race he won last spring. He gets that same setup here. Blinkers on, second up. That was 1,200. This is 1,400. It's a different setup. I think he's going to run well without winning. And the rest of them, Private Life, I don't think it trialled too well. I don't want to be where it's going to be and run. I don't think they'll rev it up to get it to a really positive spot. And is it going to come home harder than Southport Tycoon? I don't think it will. That sort of leaves you with Brightside or Another Will, and I think 420, 440 Another Will versus 250 Brightside's a really fair bet.
Yep.
I have Brightside about 230, but I don't want to get stuck into it at that price. They're the 2 horses I really like are in the market, but I'm happy to have a moderately good bet at race 9, number 5, Another Will for Kieran Maher and J. Carr.
Now,
Mellon.
Brightside got knocked off first up by Pinstriped in the Memsey Stakes during the spring. How wound up do you think, obviously you've got it marked shorter than the market currently, how wound up do you think it would be that potentially the plan is, all things going well, that they're off to Hong Kong and they're going to go and have a crack in Hong Kong? How wound up do you think Brightside will be?
Well, I think he's just a champion.
Yeah.
He's not going to be fat.
No.
He's a tough. He's also got this racing pattern which they've built into the horse, which is, I think, the best thing they've ever done with him. He's going to put himself in the first sort of 6 horses here. He's going to peel at the top of the straight, and if the Schwartzes of this race don't kick away and pinch it, well, he's going to run you over. I assume sort of like the Zaras of this race on your Southports and Benny Allen maybe on Pinstripe, they're just going to try and tag the back of him and be stronger than him late. I just think the only time you can comfortably go against him, but normally I've got a price edge on him and I don't this time, is first up when you've got a bit of fresh blood. I wish that Southport Tycoon just did a little bit more to the clock late at Moonee Valley, or had a little tick over in between, and I'd be pretty keen to take the price about it.
Yeah. And
I would say this to you guys, if you're watching and you take yourself half seriously with your punting, if you've seen like a Windstorm and like a Marble Arch or Charlton Lane miss the start, peel around, get wide and hit the line and win a good race, or you've seen Angel Capital win from well worse in midfield in race 7, or if you've seen who we got here, Ray Magnerio run over the top of Mahaba late from back, which I don't think he will and I hope he doesn't. I'm on Mahaba. Then we sort of start to go, well, hang on, maybe the middle lanes are good and we can run on.
Yeah.
You can think about Southport Tycoon. You can contemplate Pinstripe. Pinstripe probably starts $30.
Yeah.
The market's the percentage is gonna come from somewhere. I don't think it's gonna come from Brightside. It's not going to come from another Will. I don't think he starts with a 4 in front of. I think he starts with a 3. I think Swartz will get out sort of 9, 10, and Private Life will start double figures. That's how I see the race going. As you guys know, I've been doing this a fairly long time. I get a lot of them wrong. This is how I see this race going.
Yeah, and then what are you doing with Stapati? Are you paying much attention from last run? Are you like, because if you're looking at it in that point of view, it was $5 last start against Schwartz. And you're getting 15s here. So
yeah, he's in the mix again. He's in the mix with another Will. He's in the mix with Southport Tycoon.
Yep.
You don't want to back horses that settle worse in midfield, 400 metre start, Caulfield.
Yep.
As a rule. So you certainly don't want to do it on a Thursday. So, like, I'll roll through the bets I've had. Another Will, it's going to be in the first 4. Shorten Lane's going to be midfield. Windstorm's going to be worse in midfield. He's the only one I've had, but I love the setup, and I'm getting $15. You know, I've got a significant edge versus my price.
Yep.
Mahaba is going to be nice and forward. They're the bets I'm having right now because I know they're going to be in good positions, and they got versatility. They're not leaders. I'm not backing them because they lead, but I'm backing them comfortable. They're going to be forward in run. It's a pretty standard dot ball weather day. Like we're not expecting rain and significant wind. The potential for a southerly will mean that if anything, it helps leaders again. But Caulfield, as a rule, helps leaders. The Rail True is one of the fairer positions that Caulfield has historically. They renovated at the end of 2022, top of my head. We talked about that with Dan Bowman once.
Yep.
And then they had this awful spring. So sometimes there's tracks where the historical stuff is just gold, and Caulfield's probably on the other end of that. So I think it's a great race. I think there's a number of chances that can win. And, yeah.
Love it, mate. I reckon that just about wraps us up for the Captain's Run episode 21, that'll be.
Episode 21, Super Bowl Monday. We won't have anything prior to that. Hope you enjoy the big day. We've got Caulfield Heath too. If you want to get my prices, themailbag.com.au. You'll get in touch with Pratty and he'll steer you. Who'll be betting. Will we be betting while the game's on, do you reckon?
Towards the end of the game, yes.
Might be a twilight meeting.
That is a very good call. I do not know when it starts. If it starts traditional time, it'll be like midway through, and it's not out yet, so I can't.
If you think about betting properly and getting involved in a bit of a community, get involved. Themailbag.com.au. We're betting sort of 5 meetings a week now.
Yep.
Sometimes 6.
Yep.
Life's good. We've got... What else we got going on?
Well, what else have you got going on with Mailbag Bloodstock, mate? Anything?
Shares available, Katsu. Shares available, White Bear. 2 really, really nice tried horses, both headed to Lindsay Park. I went and had a look at 2 others, not them. I'm looking at them next week, at the back half of next week. They're out having a spell before they pre-train. They'll head to Lindsay Park. And a number of 2-year-olds, 1 with Gavin Bedgegood and 2 available. The Maurice is sold out. 2 available, an Alabama Express and
Hanseatic.
A Hanseatic at Lindsay Park. Love you to get involved, be part of our team. If you want to talk to Rob Scurry, you let me know. jack@themailbag.com.au. Have a phenomenal weekend. It's
But
glorious.
before we have a phenomenal weekend, make sure you also email jono@themailbag.com.au because he will be the one that actually steers you correctly.
I would have just forwarded on that email. So jono@themailbag.com.au. Don't forget, racing tonight, Pakenham, tomorrow, Moonee Valley, Saturday, Caulfield, and
Bendigo Sunday.
Bendigo Sunday, somewhere in Sydney on Saturday. The cricket
Randwick.
started. What else is going on? It's all happening.
Mate, it's all happening. And then Super Bowl Monday, just to round out what was a blockbuster weekend already.
Gamble responsibly. Bye for now.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.